So Enshrouded just got one of the biggest patches that it has had since its release, and it has touched on quite a few of the major gameplay aspects that I've been talking about in some of my videos, so I did want to go over some of those crucial points that have changed. Now if you do want to stay up to date with all of the latest and greatest on this game and many others, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below, and if you do enjoy me keeping you up to date with these sort of videos, let me know by dropping a like, and let's jump into this. So there has been quite a few changes here. It's things like issues and errors, things on stability and performance, things on multiplayer. So we're going to touch on some of the most important ones. But if you do want to go ahead and look at the full list of changes, you can see that either on the Steam page or on their Discord. The timer reset of content in the game world has been lowered to 30 minutes. The reset still only occurs while no player is in the direct vicinity of the part of the world that needs resetting. So in other words, things like your chests and your loot areas are going to be reset now every 30 minutes. It was previously 2 hours, which, as you can tell, on major servers or bigger servers with a lot of players on, it was not particularly useful. 30 minutes is much more achievable, and especially if you're playing on a server by yourself or with just a couple of friends, 30 minutes of not being in an area is pretty easy to do if you're getting on with other things, you know, you're building, you're farming, etc. So that's really, really cool. They have added a few more terrain material deposits in key locations, so you're going to be able to find some more materials around the map. And as well as this, they have improved the visibility of amber nodes and added a few locations in the game world where amber can be found. They've also improved scattering of tumbleweeds in the Nomad Highlands, and several points of interest have been polished concerning visuals, chest locations, and gameplay. They've also fixed several areas in the world where the path was blocked by dirt and improved the visuals for the ground fog and added more ground fog in the Revel Woods. So that's actually really good. A lot of things people have been asking about. On top of this, some really, really crucial things here. The recipe for the rake is now correctly unlocked. So actually everybody can finally build this when they log on to their world. Fantastic stuff. This is really, really crucial. The first magical storage chest is now available earlier in the crafting progression. For further information, visit your local blacksmith. So you can actually get your first magical chest earlier on, which is great. It stops people putting all of their resources into the regular chest and then having to transfer. You can actually get this pretty early on now, which is nice. You can also craft earlier the advanced glider. So this is the second tier glider, and this can be crafted earlier in the crafting progression as well. So you're going to be able to fly further and faster for longer with this one earlier on in the game, which is fantastic. When upgrading equipment, the necessary runes are now also taken from the magical storage chest. Before, you did have to have these in your inventory, so this is a really, really crucial one. They've also lowered the cost for tin bars to allow them to align better with similar recipes. Huge one for that mid to late game progression step. This is a huge one. Fixed a bug where stamina for jumping wasn't deducted correctly with certain items selected in the action bar. Now a normal jump always costs nothing, while sprint jump and double jump always use their intended stamina cost. Now this is interesting particularly because double jump was pretty much always going to give you no stamina usage, and the sprint jumping you could get it so that you could move around the world very, very quickly, and you essentially wouldn't use any stamina. So that has now been fixed, so you are now going to have to find some new versions of transport or moving yourself around the map. I'm going to have some videos on the channel very, very shortly. And paired with this, they have also fixed a bug where players could seamlessly chain long sprint jumps and therefore traverse the map faster than intended. Now it is required to take a short run up for every long sprint jump. This is really good, again, because it means you're actually going to be playing the game kind of as it was designed, and it was a kind of a silly mechanic that was left in, but I suppose that's what early access is for, finding out these things, bringing attention to them, and then getting them fixed, which is great from Keen Games. They've already got rid of that, which is absolutely fantastic. Fixed a bug where players could interact with hook anchors behind the player camera. This is a great one for around my base, particularly. I am very happy about this. I keep getting pinged through the walls and into walls by trying to interact with my NPCs and getting flung by the anchor hooks. Now, some interesting points here. They have changed some of the skills. So they fixed the warrior skill Absorb. They have nerfed the skill Water Aura, which is the one where it would heal allies around you. It was just too good, they've said there, so they've simply nerfed that one. We haven't got any specific percentages here, but obviously it probably still is decent, but it's worth testing out in your games if you were running that. They've buffed the tier 3 Ice Bolt spell by adding area damage, which is huge for the Ice Bolt there. Fixed several incorrect item levels for weapons. reduced the damage from some poison attacks, especially the poison attack from the scavenger matron that caused too much damage, so that's actually from the AI enemies to the player, which is interesting. Fixed several instances of enemy sounds that were played too loudly in multiplayer, which is a great one. Again, sometimes you really do jump out of your skin, so that should hopefully now be fixed. There have been several skill visual effects that have been fixed or improved, fixed 2 incorrect weapon modules, and fixed a few visual issues with armor. So overall, they've made some massive gameplay changes there, lots of really good stuff, lots of feedback that they've acted on, and lots of crucial things to remember for when you are in your games. They've also done some changes to building and terraforming. They've fixed a bug here where single terrain voxel placement with the build hammer could add larger terrain volume than intended. They've removed the undo button hint from the building menu when it is closed, and therefore the undo function is no longer available. For those of you that don't know, when you are in the building menu, you can press Y to undo the previous building move, but sometimes if you got rid of the hammer, you would still have this option available, which is kind of odd, but that's gone now. They've improved the detection of ambient sounds in player bases during terraforming. The ambience in the player base cellars sounds less like natural caves now. The improvements of ambient sounds in the base will continue, so this is really cool. They've fixed visual detail glitches on the roofs. They've increased durability of several dungeon materials against powder bombs. Now that is particularly interesting because obviously remember that in certain areas the tip was, instead of to try and do the puzzle, you could just blow through the walls. I would now assume that it's going to be easier to do the puzzle than it is to go through the walls, which I think is probably a good thing again. So certainly take note of that one. If you suddenly can't get through areas that you could before with the powder bombs, that is probably why. They've also fixed a way to bypass the maximum number of bases that the current flame level would normally support. So again, now it is just going to be the maximum that is in the top middle left of your screen. When you open the map menu, it tells you how many altars you have out of the current maximum. That is now going to be exactly as represented. And they've also fixed a bug where the action bar couldn't be cycled with the mouse wheel while control key was pressed. They've also done a couple of fixes here to the UI where they've fixed several areas of overflowing text in various languages, improved several smaller layout issues, fixed several text issues for weapon and armor stats, added fixes to Japanese, simplified and traditional Chinese localization, and several smaller text issues. So overall, just general improvements to the game. Now this is one of the first major updates, lots of crucial things to be aware of. The main things being here then, the powder bombs. Obviously, if that has been changed, you might not be able to get through certain areas as quickly. The run jump doesn't work anymore, which is a great addition. I really was hoping they would fix that soon. It was kind of a weird gimmick in the game that needed to be gone, so that doesn't work anymore. You are going to be better actually just running. You're going to be able to build tin bars more easily, as well as get the advanced glider much earlier in the progression stages. On top of this, you're going to be able to put your runes into your magic chests and be able to upgrade your weapons with them. Huge benefit. A few changes to the perks, namely water aura has been nerfed, so do check that if you've been using it. And the reset of the game content has been lowered to 30 minutes from the previous timer of 2 hours, which is a huge thing if you do play on a server. So hopefully this video has helped you out to keep you up to date with the latest from Enshrouded and some vital changes based off tips and tricks videos that I've personally made here on the channel. Obviously, I'm going to make some updated versions of those as we go forward, but be sure to drop me a like and a comment down below. Let me know which one of these changes is your favourite and if you like what they've done. Other than that, I will catch you on the next one. Make sure to drop me a subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll catch you again very shortly on a brand new upload. Take care and peace.